What's up, family? Gerald the Bossman here. You're tuned into the Bossman Show on AM 1010, AM 1430, 1055 The King. Let the King out at 105theking.com and the Bossman Show at bossmanshow.com. Hit me up on Instagram, The Bossman Show, Twitter at Bossman Show, and Facebook, Bossman Show. It's the Bossman on your radio.
Listen to the Bossman Show with your host, JR, Saturdays at 9 a.m. right here on AM 1010, The King.
What's up, good people? BetOnline is your number one source for all your betting needs. The latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use your promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
Yes, BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV, covering content and hot topics from A to Z, sports, music, society and culture, movie reviews, you name it, we have it. Check it out on bs3network.com or check us out on Roku, BS3 TV on Roku, as well as check out your favorite podcast on all podcast platforms or Spreaker.com/BS3 Network.
You are now tuned to BS3 Network.
Folks, back on the Bossman Show, going back to the SIAC, going over to Jackson, Tennessee. The next Exodus Jackson on our 40, as it says. It's Coach Vyron Brown with me on the Bossman Show, the Lancaster Dragons. Coach, how things going over there in Jackson today, man?
Man, everything's going wonderful, man. Boss man, I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to come on the platform and speak about our program and talk about Black College and how we're working hard here in Jackson, Tennessee to get the Dragons ready for this season.
The coach, he headed into the third year as the head coach, man. So tell me about how's that been for you, man, watching this program and growing under your tutelage and seeing your vision kind of come to fruition right now.
Well, first I want to thank Jesus Christ, Lord and Savior, for giving me this opportunity to coach this great profession. Everyone doesn't get something that they love to do and a passion to do. For me, it's not work. You know, this is something that I love to do, getting up at 4:45 every morning, coming in, working with young men, just giving them the opportunity, teaching them and mentoring them the way I was brought up. So I'm grateful for the opportunity. A.D. Bird and President Hampton gave me this opportunity. I was hired here in 2018 as the offensive coordinator. And after the 19th season, A.D. Bird said he was going to step down. And of course, he seen my passion, my drive, and I applied for the job like everybody else did, and they seemed fit to keep the nucleus together at the time. I was hands-on with recruiting a lot of the kids that just graduated, like I am now with majority of the kids that are on the team right now. But in 2020, it was that hard year of COVID. We didn't play, so we lost a lot of freshmen that we had signed, especially defensive-wise, D-line-wise, that would have still been playing right now had they did not quit because of COVID. We didn't play, so it was kind of hard to keep everyone together. That was new, But the guys that stuck with it, most of them have graduated with that class that played last year. And we had 12 graduate last year also. Uh, so it's been a uphill battle, but we're making some progress. Uh, we're building relationships in the community, um, networking in different parts of I-20, below I-20, where a lot of our football players are coming from. Um, I'm a Louisiana guy myself, and a lot of my ties are off I-20, to be honest with you. And we're getting those caliber players that they play football, you know. And once you get kids from winning programs and winning backgrounds that know how to work, that don't mind working, and know what it takes to be a champion and just to win, period, it makes coaching a whole lot easier for you. It helps with football IQ. It helps with effort. Uh, it helps with having high energy every day. And the other part of that is going to class.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, we stress that. That's why we get them up early every morning. We do something with them in the morning time, whether it's meetings or working out. The way to make sure they get up and start their day and they're not laying in the bed. That way they can go to class. So it's God's been good these last couple of years, and we're ready to see what He has in store for us this year.
And Coach, I do feel like that Jackson is similar to where you went to school at Grambling because it's a small town, but college town as well. Like you got Ruston right down the road, Louisiana Tech, but you got Lambeth there, different things like that right there in Jackson. So it's that kind of college town feel. And it's not too much to get into. You can focus on your craft and becoming a good student on and off the field, kind of getting that molding that you want to be as a young man once you get out of school and go on with your life after football.
Right. Most truly, being at Grambling, being in Eddie Robinson last recruiting class, and playing for Doug Williams, one of the four captains of the team. We won those first two back-to-back championships. Grambling is an isolated area. It's not a lot to do. You're gonna get your education. You're gonna get up early. You're gonna go to practice. You're gonna go to class. You're gonna come back to meetings. You can really work on your craft because you don't have a lot of distraction. Like being in the bigger cities. Uh, Louisiana Tech is right down the road, which Lincoln Parish. That's what Jackson, Tennessee reminds me of, is being in Ruston, Louisiana. So it's a great feel, a great flavor. The kids come to work. They want to do better, and that's what we've been working on with.
And Jackson is growing. When I come through there to go to Memphis Grizzlies games, when I come out of Nashville, the interstate of I-40 is being redone. I'm seeing more things pop up in Jackson. Jackson is growing itself and being in proximity to Nashville and Memphis and getting out in Mississippi. I feel like, it's a vibrant area for internships, getting things set up that way as well. Because I feel like for me, coach, my degree is not in communications, but it's in business. So this
Right,
business is helping me be able to run the show 15 years,
right,
because I have a career in business, right? So young men need to realize that the education piece of it is very important, or the football piece. So all of us ain't gonna be playing football forever. So we all have we got
right.
another it's part of life phase to go. As we talk about phases of life there. So I think being a spot to me is a good spot. I'm hoping people listen to the interview and give Lane College a try and see what you all offered out there and really look into it seriously.
Yeah, being in Jackson, Tennessee is great. We're the only NCAA football program in the area. You have to go all the way to Memphis or Nashville or up to Bethel to basically see another college game. Even though you got Middle Tennessee, we got all those schools around, but right in our area, we're the only NCAA college football team. So we get a lot of support from the community. Guys come out and do internships and get jobs once they get through playing ball and graduate. And that's what it's all about at the end of the day. Going back to your community, being a positive influence and helping send one more person back to school like somebody helped you go.
Now, for you, coach, I'm asking this man, at what point you decided you wanted to become a head coach or get into coaching? I know my father's a coach, he be 85 years old, 27th, right? So That's his guys still hit him up, and I take him to this crazy weddings, baby showers, things of that nature. So talk about that piece of it, being a coach, and kind of your why for coaching.
Well, it all started for me. I was 10 years old, and me and my daddy and my little brother used to be out in the front yard playing catch, and my daddy used to be the all-time quarterback for all the kids in the neighborhood. And we had our own set of plays, A, B, C, and D. That was the plays. That was the routes to run. So he ended up being the neighborhood football coach. My dad did. And, back then it wasn't no team mom and boost the club this and all this. I was the one that had to make the phone calls to let the parents and the team, my teammates know what time practice was and where we was gonna have practice at. And if you need the ride, let us know. So it wasn't no text messaging, emailing wasn't like what it is. I was the one with the team roster. Call, he said, "Hey, you want this team? You're gonna have to do X, Y, Z." And that started my real responsibility, training me to be a coach. He coached me and my brother all the way up to seventh grade, basically. So once he sent us off and turned us over to somebody else, everything they was trying to teach other kids, we already knew because we did this on a daily basis. You know, so I went on to high school, played ball in Shreveport, Louisiana, at Woodlawn High School. Robert Parrish, Ted Bradshaw, and Joe Ferguson went to school at. Picked up a trade in the 10th grade of electronics. So done that for 3 years. They tried to hire me, but I ended up going to college at Grambling. Was in the engineering department at Grambling. I have an engineering degree and a master's degree. But when I got through playing football, our D-line coach, who's back now in the game coaching at the university, at Southern University with Coach Dooley, he called my house one day and said, "Hey, V." So my dad answered the phone. He was like, "You want to coach? You want to come back and coach? You in grad school?" And my dad was like, "Hold on." He gave me the phone. So he was calling for me, and I asked him, I said, me being from Shreveport, 45 minutes down the road, it was camp time like it is now. I say, when you want me to be there? He said, practice start tomorrow. I hit that road tonight. Made it to practice. Me and Coach Williams, Doug Williams, sat down and had a talk, and he let me know his expectations. Me and Coach Williams already pretty much had a great relationship because I was one of the captains of the team. So it wasn't like it's the first time we sat down and talked. But he was telling me about separating uh, being a young coach and still being an athlete. And so in 2002, I started and was a defensive GA, was an offensive GA, then part-time, then full-time, and then, so coordinator, and now head coach. I've worked with Coach Williams, Mike Roach, Melvin Spears, Chris Scott, Darius Asbury, Reggie Barlow, just to name a few guys. Heist Northern. Those are the guys that I've worked close with that hired me on their staff. Was a part of my early development. The great Sammy White, and then I get here to Lane College and reconnect with A.D. Burrows, who me and him worked together at Alabama State. So it's all about networking, doing your best job, and being passionate about what you do.
No doubt. And, we had that similar thing. My dad would have me out doing the route tree after school, throwing me the football. So now, unfortunately, I'm the only child. Unfortunately, so, but my dad had me out there doing the route tree. So that's what you say that with your, everybody had memories of my father having me out there doing the route tree,
right,
after school. So yeah, man, football is a great game, man. How it helps us and molds us as men and brothers in this world. And tell us about the SIAC, Coach Brown, about how tough the league is. You have two divisions. It's definitely a tough league. The competition is always always every week it's a battle. So for the listeners who don't know about it the way you and I do, tell them about how tough the SIAC is every Saturday, Coach.
Well, it was new for me because majority of my career, I played in the SWAC, and then I coached in the SWAC, being at Grambling, 2 stints, Alabama State, and Texas Southern, a brief stint at Alcorn and at Prairie View. And then I coached in the CIAA at Shaw University. I was the offensive coordinator there for Coach Ashbury when we won the championship in 2008. So, this conference was new to me. I had to kind of learn the flow and the feel and the caliber of player that you're able to recruit, And once you get to seeing, okay, this school likes to do this, they like to do that, based on who their head coach is, I kind of figured it out, you know. But we're still trying to put some pieces together here. We're building depth on our team, and I think there's something in this conference that everybody goes through. We all kind of picking out the same pot, so most of the time who has the better relationship with the kid, that's who get them through family relationship or coaching relationships. You know how recruiting goes. Fighting that injury bug in the middle of October. One team can be hot and you have 2 or 3 players go down and, them backups come in. They don't have that much experience. They're not don't have the same amount of talent as the guy that was performed. And then you start kind of see the shift, in the conference. But we play an outstanding brand of football in this conference, man. I'm proud to say that our defensive end, Andrew Farmer, who was Defensive Player of the Year, played in his first NFL game this past week. Had 3 tackles and 1 tackle. And one of the tackles was a sack, 2 tackles and a sack. So, I felt like our team last year, we should have had at least 4 or 5 that got an opportunity. But that's why you have to keep working, keep grinding, and keep networking, like you're doing now. We're doing that with the NFL scouts to make sure they come see the kids, and you have a better feel once you come put your eye on instead of just looking at it on Huddle, or on video or something you see on ESPN, But the talent level is good. It's better than what a lot of people expect it to be, and we got some outstanding coaches in this conference, So it's great to be a part of this conference.
Now, Coach Brown, let me ask you this, man. I know at D2 you don't have the same number of scholarships that you do at the FCS level, the FBS level. So how creative you have to get for Pell Grants, trying to find guys in Tennessee, hope scholarships and things of that nature, try to, get guys school paid for as well. Unlike other schools in your conference who can fund every scholarship, because they're private, not public.
Right. Well, what we mainly try to do is, we have to package it, like you just said, and at the end of the day, nobody wants to have to go and take out $30,000 worth of student loans, But based on their talent, and it's a business, based on their talent, that's the amount of money they get, We do look at the need factor for some kids, but again, my number one job is for us when we talking about this money is XYZ out on their football field, But we do have to package them for us, Pell Grants, Hope, Tennessee Promise, for the guys that are in state. Now the guys that are from out of state, of course, they're going to need more money than a guy that's in state. That's just, basic common sense, even though we don't have out of state fees. Everybody pays the same price, to go to school here. So that's basically how we do it. No, we don't have a full allotment of scholarships here. That's something that we've been working on. A.D. Burrows and myself have been, talking to the upper administration. Hey, if we had XYZ, then you can get a couple more players, that can help you. So that's something that we have to deal with, and we've been working around.
And Coach, for a young man listening to this interview and a parent listening to this interview, what are the pillars of your program, and what do you look for in a young man to become a Lane College Dragon?
Well, first of all, they got to understand that we're going to educate you, we're going to graduate you, and throughout the process, you're going to find build a relationship with the Lord. We'll see them in church school. We're big on that. I appreciate this job because it lets me be able to talk about the Lord, Jesus Christ, and introduce the kids to him. Last 2 Sundays, we have went to church services in the community. Had 2 kids gave their life to Christ 2 weeks ago. So that's what you're going to get when you come here. You're going to be coached by some of the best coaches that ever played the game or ever coached the game. We're going to be fundamentally sound. And every time you step on that field on Saturday, we're going to have an opportunity to win the game. It's not going to be like we're going to step out on the field and we just don't have it. We've developed kids now where, like I tell them, we're not sneaking up on nobody else no more. That's not going to happen. Teams have started to prepare for us like any other opponent, so that's kind of the spiel that I give the parents and the kids, and just show them what we have, and be straight up and honest with what we don't have, because kids right now are all visual. Uh, they see all this stuff on Instagram and Twitter. Well, I tell them, what you see is what you get when you come to Lane College. And ain't the, if you're looking for bells and whistles, this ain't the school. But if you want a great education and work hard with an opportunity to win a championship, it's the right school for you.
Hey, amen to that. And I want to ask you about prep for Miles in camp right now. So I know we got the game September 2nd against Miles in Memphis. At what point do you transition from camp mode, working on yourselves, to preparing for that first game against Miles and getting the guys ready for that, and preparing for them wholeheartedly for that game in Memphis in week 1?
The focus will really start on Miles next Monday. Even though myself and my coaching staff, we've already critiquing ourselves from last year against Miles. Just going back over the small things and what happened in the ball game late in the game to make the game so close, and really trying to clean that up. For the aspect of the kids, they're still battling for a position. It's not over with. It's not over with till September 2nd. And I want them to be focused and locked in on the process. But to answer your question, we'll start with Miles on next week.
100%. Now, Coach, on this show, we're foodies on this show. So we rolled through Jackson. What are some good food spots in Jackson we can get off one of Memphis and get that you would suggest to us to come and check out when we come down there?
Man, what you tell me what you like and I'll tell you where you can go.
We like soul food. We like chicken wings. We like some 10 pieces of fries, man. We like pizza. We like all that around here, Coach.
Okay, well, I'm gonna give you something a little bit different. Got a little bit different twist on it. Once you get off I-40 over by Union College, it's a place named Cali Blues, and they have a mixture of everything. If you're just looking for all-out Mexican food, you can go to Tequila's. It's another spot that has a mixture of food named Bourbon and Barley's. And of course, you got Buffalo Wild Wings. You got TG Fridays. It's a whole bunch of eating spots, man, and I can't just put my hand on one. But them first 2, if you want to go there, I'm quite sure you'll have a good time.
No doubt. Like I said, I know you all play at Clark, so if I'm not busy that day, I'm gonna come see you play at Clark. And of course, I also cover the Grizzlies as well. So And I have a house in Nashville still. So
Okay.
going through Jackson is not hard for me. So
All right.
I shoot right through 40, and I'm just happy construction's almost over. So I
Yeah.
can get through a little bit quick.
Yeah, it's almost over. They've been doing a great job with the infrastructure here since I've been living here since 2018. So I've seen the production, seen the growth, and it's just time for the Dragons to win the championship.
And Coach, I hope that happens for you, Coach Brown. I appreciate your time today, Coach. Put your number offline, so stay in contact with you, brother. And if you need me for anything, Coach, I'm here for you. This platform is yours anytime you want to have it. Just let me know, shoot me the text, and we're ready to go, man.
All right, I appreciate your boss, man. Thank you.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
Yes, BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV, covering content and hot topics from A to Z, sports, music, society and culture, movie reviews, you name it, we have it. Check it out on bs3network.com or check us out on Roku, BS3 TV on Roku, as well as check out your favorite podcast on all podcast platforms or Spreaker.com/BS3 Network.
You are now tuned to BS3 Network.
What's up, good people? Bet Online is your number one source for all your betting needs. The latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. Bet Online continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use your promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet Online, where the game starts. What's up, family? Jared the Bossman here. You're tuned into the Bossman Show on AM 1010, AM 1430, 1055 The King. Check The King out at 105theking.com and the Bossman Show at bossmanshow.com. Hit me up on Instagram, The Bossman Show, Twitter at Bossman Show, and Facebook, Bossman Show. It's the Bossman on your radio.
Listen to The Bossman Show with your host, JR, Saturdays at 9 a.m. right here on AM 1010, The King.